It'll be okay. I'll just wait him out again until he's not pissed anymore. This is, God, another night in the bathroom, huh? At least it's safe. What? There's a key to this? No, I don't want this! Bad Things is a gut-wrenching psychological horror where Andrew and his friend Ivan suffer each other as they try to develop a Roblox game. Their tragedy is told in 16 different scenes that reveal new sides to their rapidly deteriorating relationship, most of which is seen through none other than our protagonist, Ivan. This is where the update changes things, because in the new version of Scene 11, Staircase, we get the novel opportunity to see the game's events through Andrew's victim perspective. And, well, this is the most uncomfortable I've felt in a Roblox game. Okay, seriously, spoilers ahead. This is genuinely the best psychological horror I've played on this platform, and it's worth experiencing from beginning to end. So if you haven't already, play the game, or watch my video on it. Link to both in the description. Alright, let's get started with a brief refresher. Ivan's abusive nature stems from two primary factors, his trauma-induced obsession for legacy and the power he has over Andrew. Ivan burdened himself with the first during his firefighter father's funeral, where barely 8 to 9 people showed up. He interpreted this as all that work for what, and swore to never go out like that. To, by the end of his life, leave a tangible legacy. However, with a self-esteem as low as his, this feat felt impossible alone. He would have to piggyback off of someone more ambitious, someone willing to take the risk of failure. Someone like his friend Andrew, who conveniently happened to be at risk of homelessness. His career in game development wasn't enough to independently support himself, and his nigh-abusive parents meant that moving back in with them wasn't an option. Whether intentional or not, these were the perfect conditions for Ivan. He extended a hand to Andrew, letting him move in with him, and subsequently had power. The power to forcibly include his own writing and plagiarized quotes into the game. The power to force Andrew to work. The power to treat him however he wanted to ensure the game developed according to his own vision, not Andrew's. All of this is encompassed in Scene 11. The game shows you Scene 11 right after the confrontation in Scene 10, where Andrew flees the apartment, fearing for his life after Ivan lashed out at him again. Keep in mind that at this point in the story, this is weeks, maybe even a month after Andrew had moved in with him. The amount of abuse Andrew had endured during that time period is practically unquantifiable. Though I say practically because the new version of Scene 11 serves as a medium to fill those knowledge gaps, to give us an idea of what Andrew was going through and how he perceived that living situation. Scene 11 opens in Ivan's apartment, at least what looks like Ivan's apartment. I mean, it is, save for 2 new additions, the missing ceiling and the near eldritch amalgamation that is now able to monitor you because of it. It's unsettling, which doesn't make sense. After all, you've known him for years, and he invited you to stay in his own apartment when you had nowhere else to go. Surely it's just the residual stress. Yeah, that's it. You start unpacking your belongings and situate yourself where you can. Computer in the kitchen? Check. Pillow and blanket on the couch? Check. Everything else? Well, you take some time looking around his apartment. His room's locked, but he lends you the key to make yourself feel at home, though he does take his fire axe. Somehow, you can't help but feel unnerved by that. Maybe it's time to get to work, to get your mind off things. You sit in front of the computer and start typing. Almost immediately, something's wrong. It's almost as if you're only able to type one single letter at a time. Was this always this difficult? His writing before his script for the game wasn't like this. It feels copied, no, regurgitated. Whatever. Maybe it's just you. Maybe working will feel better tomorrow. You decide to head off to bed, though he doesn't look too pleased about it. He'll let you sleep, right?
And welcome back to Iron Lung.
Oof.
No, there isn't.
TV's on, and 2 hours before you were supposed to wake up. Again. You're starting to think that this isn't accidental. Whatever. 5 hours of sleep is enough to function. You sit in front of the computer and start typing. It didn't take long that day to find the source of that quote. In fact, it was a single search away. Come on, man, word for word? Out of the Picasso poem, no less. But it's not the publicity that you have an issue with, it's the plagiarism. This is your game, and you want only original work in it. You should be able to choose that, not him. It's time for bed. You really hope you're able to get a full 8 hours tonight. And yet, he wants you to keep working. Maybe it's time to bring this up with him.
Hey everyone, this is Manly Badass Hero and welcome
TV.
to Iron Lung.
TV again. And here you thought you two had moved past this argument. That's just wishful thinking, huh? He's already pissed. He knocked some things over the other night, and while he calmed down and picked them back up, you can't get that image out of your head. Maybe you should avoid that area and just get to work. That would help stop this, right? That would make him happy, or calm, at the very least. You wish you were happy, but how could you be when he's got so many of those plagiarized quotes infesting your game? And how could you be when you've tried to bring it up with him? And how could you be when he just gets so angry? It doesn't help that he always leaves himself as the victim. You hate thinking about this. Time for another night of sleep deprivation. Nope, you're not dealing with that. Quick, into the bathroom. You're safe in there. Get it locked. Now! At least there's no TV to wake you up. Not that you needed it. You were up all night again. God, so much of this house is just infested with him. Everywhere you go, you don't feel safe. Not even when you're making games. Oh shit, you should probably get to it. You don't know what he's going to do next. He's always knocking and shouting and slamming doors. You've been sleeping in the bathroom consistently now. How could you have not realized? You're not safe here. Maybe it's time to look into that listing you saw earlier. Maybe it's time to leave. This game is yours, after all. His quotes and his contributions mean nothing to you. Work's done. Time for some air. No, he's not supposed to be this mad already. You did your work for the day. Oh, but there's no talking to him like this. You need to hide. Now! This place wasn't safe. It wasn't ever meant to be safe. It was meant to be a perpetual construction site for the game. Your game that he wants to look over 24/7 and shape in his own vision. His quotes mean nothing to you. Everything to him. And nothing to you. Work's not done. Doesn't matter. You've been through worse before and you've made it through then. And those were your parents. This is just a friend. Nothing more. Perhaps something less. It's time to scrape it all free of yourself. All the rot, the arguments, the aggression, gone. You can't physically leave just yet. But mentally, you can stop trying to douse this forest fire of a relationship and instead leave it to burn. It's funny. The same person who saved you, who at one point you may have loved, is the same person you're trying to escape from now. It really is funny. Maybe just not funny in a ha-ha sort of way. Hold on. This progression isn't exactly linear, and what I say about this scene might not make sense unless you have an understanding of where we sit on this story's timeline. So let me help you with that. In my eyes, scene 13 takes place close to the conclusion of Bad Things, when Ivan is playing through the games Andrew made for him. Thankfully, Andrew's long since moved out, but there are things that he still needs to tell Ivan without being at risk of danger, which is why we have these games, these odd-numbered scenes. All of their content can be summed up to Andrew trying to convey what exactly Ivan did to him and how Andrew himself suffered. In this regard, both renditions of Scene 13 do the same thing, just with different approaches. The old version primarily focuses on conveying the nigh irreparable damage Ivan did. It's pretty bleak, but that's the point. That's what Andrew is trying to say. The new version is almost hopeful, with its message of Andrew realizing how maybe, just maybe, he might be able to heal and move on from this, even if incompletely. I know people have problems with the scene being a completely black screen with text, but I don't know. Maybe that's how Andrew wanted Ivan to receive this message, almost like in Scene 15, as completely raw, unadulterated words. It is cold here. It is cold and the air is thin. I am on a great mountain, near a cliff. I've walked beside this ledge for a long while. Long enough for my limbs to forget their fatigue and frost. I walk to draw blood to the extremities. I walk to keep myself walking, and so I don't look back nor down. And so I keep walking. Behind and below is where I came from. When I started, I was comfortable and sad, and I remember that, but not the feeling. I barely remember feeling. The air grows thinner, the ground grows steeper. I do not mind much, for it has been this thin and steep before, and I still have not fallen back down. The climb is anything but consistent, though. I remember easier times, and I remember the harder times. I am in a harder time. I keep my mind busy by thinking of the mountain peak, but mostly of times before I was climbing. It's a fun sort of game to play. I recall watching a sunset from the yard of my old house. A silver, a cut of burning light along the horizon. Hues of orange bleeding into a ceaseless blue-gray. That is a good memory. I only like remembering the good ones. I was there once, watching the sunset on a cool summer night. I'll never be there again, because yesterday, I watched the sun fall behind a sky-lit ablaze, and I saw the fire stretch beyond what eyes could see, and I thought of you. Do you get it? Do you understand? No, I don't think so. Not yet. The ground gets steeper. The air is cold and thin. I keep walking. I keep walking. I hit something with my boot. There is something beneath the snow. It's a body. Frozen, but unmistakable. I stop walking and dig it up. It's wearing a blindfold, soaked with ice. I cut it loose. He looks like me. A body, cold and dead, and it bears a resemblance to me. I hold his hand. There is no life here. He's like a statue. I can barely open his fingers enough to hold. I don't want to end up like this. I don't want anyone else to end up like this. This can't be the way forward. This can't be how the mountain ends. My fingers are numb. It's been 1 minute and 20 seconds since I stopped walking, and I can already feel the ice start digging into me. My face is stinging. I think I'm beginning to cry. Where am I going? What am I running from? Something awful is buried beneath the ground which I tread. Terrible memories I prefer to keep hidden. That's what's below. What lurks behind me. I feel it clawing at me, trying to drag me back down. Where do I go? It wraps around my lungs and I cannot breathe. The air is thin. It's so cold here. I gaze towards the edge, the precipice, and I look down. I cannot fall again. I cannot fall. I cannot go back. I can't stay here. I was wrong. I need to go back. But I don't have to fall. I don't have to fall. I start climbing down. The air is thin. It is cold here. As you saw, there's one more scene we have to cover. Scene 1. Both its previous and current editions act as massive foreshadowing, just in completely different ways. The old version ends with Ivan swinging his fire axe down on himself, which can be taken both figuratively and literally with his constant self-sabotage for legacy and his eventual suicide. The new version straight up tells you that Ivan isn't a good friend. It's completely in your face, and that's okay, because the scene isn't about Ivan, it's more so about the event that catalyzed his mental downfall. Yup, it's about his father. The scene opens in a fire truck, where you're prompted to suit up. You'll need it for this next job. It starts fairly simple. The layout of this building is pretty linear, and with no branching paths, it's nigh impossible to get lost. You almost wonder why you were called here, seeing as there's no fire, until a dead end. Odd, but no issue. You can just retrace your steps, and you do so, except was that door there before? Whatever. You've gotten lost and still made it out before. These buildings can only be so large. There can only be so many doors. You continue telling yourself this as the environment begins to char. The doors take on a shade of ash, the floor even more so, and the air starts becoming hazy with smoke. Another dead end. You need to move faster. There have been stories about firefighters getting trapped during these jobs, but that's what they've always been. Stories. This can't be happening, and yet it is. The ceilings of the rooms ahead are red with flames. The fire's here, but that's good. That means there's oxygen to burn. That means you're a bit closer to the exit, right? Anything to keep you going. You continue through the labyrinth of haze and smoke. Any minute now, you're going to get out. Any minute now, you're going to scramble out that front door with a freeing sense of relief. Any minute now, you're going to return to your wife and child. But what was that noise? As you lay, paralyzed, the flames slowly licking closer, you think about what you've accomplished. The lives you've saved. The child you've helped raise. Your mark on the world. The legacy you've left. Initially may not be clear, but the countless people you've saved will still be able to go back to their families. You can only hope that your own family, especially your son, will feel the same. That they won't get the wrong idea at your funeral.